morning, students. In my last video, I was taking the third chapter, Nationalism in India, and in that video, I had taken up the topic of Rowlatt Act of India 1919. In my today's video, I am going to start with the new subtopic, the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy that took place in Amritsar, Punjab. Now, before starting with my new topic, I am going to recap a bit about my last video because today's topic and the last video's topic, Rowlatt Act, both are interrelated to each other, and if you will not be able to identify this link, you will not be able to understand the topic. So, let's start with the video. The Rowlatt Act of 1919, by which the Britishers may imprison any person without trial or conviction in a court of law, thus denying him any law of appeal against it. That is, the Britishers got the power to imprison any person, any Indian person, and they would not let him show his appeal in front of the court and place his point of view. The bill was also called the Black Bill, and that it was at this stage Gandhiji took the reins of the Congress in his hands and started the Anti-Rowlatt Act Satyagraha in 1919. Now this is a very important event, so kindly underline this line in your books. At this very time, Rowlatt Act Satyagraha was very much active in Punjab, because as I had informed you earlier, today's topic is Jallianwala Bagh and it is related to Punjab, so please now listen carefully. Since national movement was also at rise at that time, two important leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, were arrested on 10th of April 1919 and they were silently deported to Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh. This was a cause of unrest in Punjab as well as in Amritsar. So, seeing to this commotion, General Dyer, the acting military commandant of Amritsar at that time, had applied the martial law. Now, since I had mentioned that there was an unrest among the people of Punjab at that time at the arrest of these two eminent Congress leaders, at Amritsar also, a peaceful crowd of about 20,000 people had gathered to protest against this arrest of these two eminent leaders, but also they had gathered to celebrate the festivities of Baisakhi. Baisakhi is the Sikh New Year. This crowd had assembled in Jallianwala Bagh, a park situated near the Golden Temple at Amritsar. Now, Golden Temple is a very famous landmark and most of you would have even visited it. So, next time if you visit Amritsar, please do visit Jallianwala Bagh too, because it is in very close proximity to this Golden Temple, as well as you would able to connect yourself with the freedom movement, how much harshness the Britishers has shown towards the Indians and how we have paid such a big price for our freedom. Now, coming back to our topic, I would like to give you a brief description of this park. This park is, as I told you, situated near Golden Temple. It has a land area of about 28,000 square meter with 5 very narrow entrances. As well as this park is surrounded by back walls of 3 huge buildings, and the only physical feature that is within this park's premises is a well. Now, when General Dyer got the information of this gathering of people in the park, for him it was the flouting of the martial law that he had applied at Amritsar. So, General Dyer, along with his 90 of soldiers, came through the main entrance of this park. He deployed his soldiers from the main entrance of the Jallianwala Bagh in a form of a semicircle, facing the crowd that had gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh, as well as he blocked the other 4 entrances of the park by means of a military tanks. Now, by this time, the people that had gathered there, which were from all walks of life, including children, women, and the aged people, gathered in the inner circle of the park. They were celebrating the festivities as well as protesting against the Rowlatt Act, as well as they were protesting for the arrest of the two eminent Congress leaders. General Dyer, at this very time, without giving any prior information or warning to the peaceful gathering that had gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh, ordered open fire to all his 90 soldiers for about 10 minutes. After the official counting of the figures said that about 1650 rounds of bullets were fired, approximately thousands of people were killed and about 1500 people were left injured. Now, you can very well understand what the situation would have been, as the only physical feature that was available within the park was only the well. So, and as the park was such a huge in size that people, if they wanted to reach the entrances, they can't even run so fast to fled out of this park to save their life. So, trying to save themselves from the bullets, most of the people jumped into the well and even they died of drowning. This event was a shock for whole of the country, and in order to prevent any further mishappening, Punjab was placed under martial law. On April 18, 1919, Gandhiji withdrew the movement of Rowlatt Act Satyagraha. On 30th May 1919, Rabindranath Tagore, the first Indian and Asian Nobel laureate, renounced his title of knighthood and surrendered his title of Sir. He also stated, "Such mass murderers aren't worthy of giving any title to anyone." Gandhiji returned his Kesari-e-Hind gold medal given to him for his work during the Boer War. Now, these can be taken as a result of the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. As a consequence, Indian National Congress set up an unofficial inquiry on the Jallianwala Bagh. By this time, the Britishers also thought of setting up an inquiry, so a commission was set up to inquire into the Jallianwala Bagh matter under Lord Hunter, accompanied by few of the eminent British officials. Now, over here I would like to point that these both commissions, one was led by Indian National Congress and another by the Britishers in India. Both these reports were of great contradiction to each other, because the one stated the reality and other was a biased one. Because Indian National Congress's inquiry showed the merciless face of the British over in India, and the Britishers' inquiry showed the biased act of justifying General Dyer. Although in this commission's report they criticized Dyer, but they just retired him and sent him back to London. However, no charges were framed against him and no punishment was given to him. Dyer was also praised by many sections of United Kingdom. Rather, he was displayed as a patriot and he was made a hero in many novels and books of that time. However, all this gave momentum to the Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement. Also, it united Hindus and the Muslims for a very short amount of time. Now, I would like to provide this video format in a nutshell, because this incident that took place on 13th April 1919 in Amritsar, Punjab. Why? To protest against the Rowlatt Act and many other injustice and unjust laws and policies Why it happened? Because a crowd assembled at the grounds of Jallianwala Bagh to protest against the Rowlatt Act as well as to celebrate Baisakhi. Who opened fire on this peaceful crowd? General Dyer opened fire, which resulted in this massacre, which demonstrated how cruel the imperial power can be. Thus, this massacre marked as a nail in the coffin of the Britishers in India. Now, I would like to tell you what type of questions we are going to get from this section. First question that you might get from this section of video today is that write a brief account on Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. What were the main causes of the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy? How the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy is related to Rowlatt Act? What was the main cause behind the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy? Write a brief note on Rowlatt Act. So these are the few of the questions that you might get in your board examination. Now, students, in my next video, I will be briefing you about the Khilafat movement, another subunit of our chapter Nationalism in India. And for any queries that if you still have, you may leave your questions within a time frame of 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on my WhatsApp or on my Telegram account, and I will be duly answering your questions. Since in the evidence of this pandemic, students, we can't answer and question each other face to face, so you have to be very attentive and watch these videos very attentively so that all your doubts get cleared via these videos as well as by questioning. So go through these videos, jot down the points from these videos, and if then too you find something that you were not able to understand, you can certainly connect to me via your questions through WhatsApp group or through Telegram. Now, if you find any word that I used in this video that was far from your clearing your doubts, so you can also mention that too. So make short notes on these videos, and till then, stay home, stay safe, and please be regular in your studies.